Today I'm sharing the latest Love from Lizi kit and making 2 cards for inspiration. Hey, it's Beth. Welcome. Today I am excited to have for you and to be able to play with this month the Blush and Bloom card kit from Love from Lizi. So this is the March 2026 release card kit. And it's like really beautiful pastels and florals. So within the kit, you have like this pretty lacy sheer piece of ribbon. There is, well, ephemera, will kind of come back to that and be able to open that up and spread it out. We have the Blush and Bloom 6x6 paper pack. It's got like kind of a pinkish purple color florals, some white, green, obviously. It's kind of like a mauve-y tone or a rose, like wine colored. And this one is a little bit more of light purple, almost like, it reminds me of crabapple blossoms or maybe cherry blossoms, but not the same color pink. Kind of a watercolor. And there are 12 sheets, single-sided in this one. Some little tulips. So very pretty. And then we have the stamp set. Well, it kind of shifted. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the packaging so it's easier to see. You've got some floral. You got a basket of tulips, a little floral bouquet here, the bicycle with the flowers in the basket in the back, and then sentiments that say thanks a bunch, right into spring, petals and pedals, which goes well with the bike. Sending springtime sunshine with love and flowers, and then you have some accent butterflies as well. A stencil, kind of like a trellis pattern. And then there are 2 peel-off sheets. You have this kind of lavender, the peel-off strips, and then silver, like matte silver mini circle peel-offs. And then there's cardstock. We have a light pink, light purple, a green, a white, and then a light yellow. And then we will come back to, we'll do the kind of the little extras pack first. This has the die. It's kind of like a floral border type die. There is a thank you sentiment with dimension. It's got like a dimensional tape on the back. Some green, kind of like an olive green cord. Some mirror tile squares. And then just some rhinestones. Some glossine baggies. There are 2 smaller and one kind of like a medium size. Some filler here, like a kind of an off-white iridescent. And then in this little goodie bag we have some rosettes. There's 3 white ribbon rosettes. Really cute. And then 3 white plastic rosettes that are, dimensional. And then some wood pieces. We've got some hearts, a flower, and the word love. And then the ephemera pack. And the ephemera pack has some larger pieces as well as smaller pieces, so you could make some scenes or have some big focal points. Boot, telephone booth, tulips, little rose bouquet, little gazebo, that's really pretty. Another gazebo. Oh, look at this pretty record player. That's fun. A candle. Perfume, mirror. A fountain and bouquet with vase. Here are some smaller ones, a little lantern, and almost like a postage stamp. A little country scene, like a little country lane. Window. House. Relaxing hammock. Can't wait till it's hammock season. We have teacups, envelope, some boots, a wishing well. Nothing says cottage like wishing well. And that's what this reminds me. It has just very much a country cottage feel, like an English country cottage. A kite, a bike, greenhouse. Another little pond, and then a little green envelope. So a lot of fun in that ephemera pack. Can't wait to dive into that. Oh, this was in the back too. It's some netting, like tulle type netting. And then for the add-ons, I have two of them. This is the variety, the Blush and Bloom variety peel off. So you have like the light purple, the lavender, they're little butterfly strips with butterflies. This is kind of like a glittery, iridescent glittery mini hearts. Some green glitter pinstripe. And then we have the mirror, the silver mirror glitter mini circles. And then there's also the Blush and Bloom pinstripe set, which has coordinating colors just in the pinstripe peel off. So you've got the purple, the green, kind of a white, and then a lighter green and a darker green. And then I also got, to kind of go along with everything, the doily layering die set. So there's 4 or 3 different size doilies that you could layer or be frames. And then I also have just kind of the plain mini circles in white, just kind of basic. It's like this is one of those things where I use the white circles on just about everything. So that's a kind of a staple for me. So I am excited to be able to play with this, and in fact we will go ahead and create a project using some of the items in the kit for you today, and then there will be some more videos coming later this month with some more fun projects and inspiration. I'm going to be using Sweet Sunday sketch number 170 for my first card, and both of my cards are going to be A2 size, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I cut this kind of purple and green argyle type pattern down to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 so that it covers most of the front of the card and just leaves a little white border. And then the kind of cherry blossom-ish pattern, I cut that down to 5 3/8 by 2 inches wide, and then I used the light purple cardstock from the kit and trimmed that to 2 1/4 by 5 3/8 just to mat it on the sides. And we'll put that down kind of towards the left side here. And then I measured my ephemera, which was my ephemera piece, which is about 3 inches, and decided to cut the white matte piece. I'm going to double mat it. Got white piece that is 3 1/4 inch square, and then another light purple piece which is 3 1/2 inch square. And I wanted to add a little something to that white piece, so I pulled in the white pinstripes that have like the silver metallic edging. And these were from one of the kit add-ons packs. And I'm just kind of creating a little frame that's going around all 4 edges. And I just wanted to, like I said, add a little something to the white. A little bit of shine to the card as well. And I'm able to cover the whole square with just 2 strips. So that worked out well. And then we'll add adhesive to the back of that and layer that onto the light purple cardstock piece. And then add that to the front of the card. There will be a video linked in the description box below as well from Love from Lizi, and she will go into more detail about the March releases and like ordering dates and information and all that. So if you're interested in the kit, you can also check out that link in the description. Or if you are wondering what else has been released this month, there were a lot of fun new releases. I'm using the Sending Springtime Sunshine Sentiment from the stamp set, and I just stamped that onto a 1 1/4 inch circle, and then I matted it with a 1 1/2 inch purple cardstock circle. And then I have 2 strips here from 2 other patterns in the kit. So I kind of get to showcase 4 different patterns on this one. I'm just cutting them into fishtails on one end, and then I'm going to add them kind of at angles from each other, coming out from underneath my sentiment circle. And then I do decide to pop up the sentiment on some foam squares since it's gonna kind of be resting on those strips, on the ephemera piece matting and all that. So I did add, I kind of just wanted to have a level playing field with that. So just pop that up on some foam. And then this was a strip left over from my card mat, and I'm just going to add that to the inside of the card for a little bit of color and pattern. For my second card, I am working on Mojo Monday sketch number 432, and this time I bring in some of the light pink cardstock for my card mat, and again it's 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I'm using an ephemera piece that is like a floral bouquet coming out of a Chanel perfume jar or bottle, it looks like. And then the Thanks a Bunch sentiment from the stamp set. And I'm layering it on a piece of white cardstock that is 2 1/8 by 3 1/4. And then I've matted that with green, which is 2 3/8 by 3 1/2. And then another piece of white cardstock, which is 2 5/8 by 3 3/4. And then I've got 2 strips from some other pattern papers in the kit, and I'm just going to be adding fishtails into the right side of those. And then the strips are both 1 1/2 inches wide. The flower pattern is 3 1/2 inches long, and then the kind of paint stripe, like the watercolor paint stripe piece, is 3 3/4. And then I used the die that came in the kit in some of the green cardstock that I had left over, and just cut a piece. I didn't even cut a full piece. I just used whatever length was left on my scrap piece of green cardstock, And I'm going to add it to the back of one of the small like glassine bags. And I'm just kind of using this as a vellum effect. And I'm going to use it for the middle strip on the front of my card. So I'll get these glued down and then kind of figure out how long I want my bag to be. And then I end up trimming just a little bit off the edge. I think I make it so that it's about 3 1/4. And didn't take into account that the flap that is coming up over the bag, like there's 2 little pieces that I will end up having to glue down. So I'm just trying to add glue to the back of the bag, or to the underside of the bag that is going to be covered by my kind of focal element. And then this is where I realized, like, ooh, I need to kind of glue these ends down. And luckily with the bare layer glue, you don't see it through the kind of vellumy, waxy textured paper of the bag. Then I can add my focal point down. I have another scrap here that I'm just gonna put on the inside of this card as well. Just cutting that into a fishtail banner. Glue that down, and then I want to bring in a little shine on this card as well. So this time I'm going to be pulling in the matte silver mini circles, and I'm going to put 2 of the medium size at the top left of the strip, kind of like around that middle section, and then I'm going to do 3 at the bottom, kind of towards the right end of that bottommost fishtail. And it adds just a little bit of shine, a little bit of extra. And then my 2 cards will be done. So again, please be sure to stay tuned for some more inspiration coming your way, and check out the description box for those links. Thank you so much for your time, and hope you all have a very crafty day.